arms fall off till your abs get hard and your moral of the story.
Lewis! Mom! 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 Mommy!
Hey now, what's up everybody? It's nicbolet from BoletoBrigade, back with another video for you all, and let's jump right into it. So, this week's max effort lower day was a 3-inch deficit deadlift. So, I have never done more than a 2-inch deficit before. Decided that I've been working off a 2-inch deficit for a while, wanted to up the ante a bit, and so I decided to go off a 3-inch deficit. Worked up to a 515-pound single, which is only 10 pounds less than my best pull from the floor, so very, very excited about that. Worked with some back down sets, you know, the whole deal. Did some sumo pulls. And so yeah, max effort lower day went really well this week. I'm feeling good about where my sumo, or at least the direction that it's heading. I think my next max effort deadlift day is going to be a sumo or some variation of the sumo deadlift. But yeah, so after working up to this 515-pound pull, which you are seeing here, did 3 sets of 3 with 412 pounds. So typically I try to get at least 5 sets of 3 or preferably 3 sets of 5. But I was feeling really beat up after the 500 and 515 pull, so I ended up just doing 3 triples. Then I think I did 3 sets of 5 or 6. Did 2 sets with 315, then I did a set of 6 with 365 on sumo. So no squatting today. However, the sumo deadlift is a pretty good variation to build both the squat and the deadlift. So yeah, so max effort day for lower went really, really well.
Chain hang to my ding-a-ling. Chain hang to my ding-a-ling.
So now we get on with the max effort upper day. So I wanted to do board press with chains, but what I ended up doing was just competition press with chains, just because I didn't have a training partner, although I ended up meeting up with some people there who I knew. So that was pretty cool. However, you know, I've never done a board press, and I really haven't benched with chains before, so decided to just do the competition press with chains. So at first I only had what is actually 80 pounds of chain on there, but about a third of it was on the floor from the start, so I estimated it to be about 54 pounds of chain, or 2/3 of the actual chain weight. Then I added on 2 more chains to make it 120 pounds of chains total, and I estimated it to be about 80 pounds of chain that were actually adding resistance. Got up to 185 pounds for a single with about 80 pounds of chain resistance. I attempted 200 after that and failed. Then I hit some back down weights with 150 pounds bar weight, hit some floor press, and then I hit some overhead press. And I don't remember, I think I did some tricep pushdowns and some hammer curls to finish off this day. So failing a rep here was my first time failing a rep so far in the conjugate. Hopefully it's one of my last times, but I'm not too worried about it. Still overall felt like it was a good session, and we'll move on to the dynamic days now.
My neck, my back, lick my pussy and my...
So dynamic lower was just 8 sets of 3 with 275 pounds of low bar back squats. I did an AMRAP on the 8th set because I was feeling really, really good, and I believe I ended up getting 8 reps, and I called it at about an RP 8. I think I could have comfortably hit 10 reps, which is pretty cool because I don't think I've ever hit 275 for 10 before, especially considering how little I've been back squatting as of late. You know, I'm trying to cut depth a bit and not really sort of sink all the way down into the hole, which I think will not only allow me to move heavier weights in the long run, I think it'll also minimize the amount of butt wink that I have, just because I'm not going to be sinking all the way to the hole. However, I think based on this angle right here that I am still hitting depth, or at least depth that I'm happy with. I think it would pass in competitions. After low bar squats, I went on and I did some sumo pulls, but you know, nothing else really noteworthy that I'm going to talk about. So I lied. This is actually something that I do want to talk about. So this is an exercise that I got from Josh Vogel. You may follow him on Instagram or YouTube, Vogelitis or however he says it. He trains at the MI40 gym, which is owned by Ben Pekulski, an IFBB pro bodybuilder. He competed in the Olympia or the Arnold or one of the two big events last year. He's a big name in bodybuilding, but however, this is the way that Josh Vogel in the MI40 gym does Romanian deadlifts. So they have a band across their waist, and basically it just forces stronger glute contractions at the top of the movement, where the RDL tends to get a bit easier. I had the craziest glute pump the other day, so if glutes are a weak point for you, try doing something like this. And lastly, my dynamic upper. So this was 8 sets of 3 with 195 pounds of my competition press. Also did an AMRAP on the 8th set. I cut it off at 7, probably around an RP 8 or so, maybe even RP 7. Watching the film, it looks like every rep was moving fast, but I felt really shaky, which again is probably just a product of not really practicing the competition lift a whole lot. However, I'm really satisfied with my form, my technique. Getting a much better arch than I used to, which I'm super happy about. Everything was feeling really smooth. So this day was just a whole lot of pressing. I did some close grip bench, 3 sets of 7 with 175 pounds after the competition lifts. Then I did some incline dumbbell pressing. I did some lateral raises, and then I did some blood flow restriction curls, but I didn't film any of those last few things. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy the video. If there is anything that you want to see in future videos, if you're bored of this format, just let me know. I'd be willing to change up anything if it makes things a little bit more interesting for you guys. So again, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. And for those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.